what a crazy time to face this dispute with the CFTC right before an actual major election cycle. How are you responding, and how quickly can you have this resolved?
Yeah, well, first of all, Matt, thanks for having me. I think, a little bit of context on how we got here. So Kalshi is the first and only legal prediction market in the US. The community of prediction market traders has been growing phenomenally, and the product is very simple. You predict the future, you make money.
Is it always yes or no? Is it binary?
Right now it's yes or no. I think we're progressing into a variety of different products. But you can imagine who will win the elections, what's going to happen to the weather tomorrow, will TikTok get banned? And the industry has been seeing explosive growth in the last year. It's been absolutely incredible. We're doing millions of transactions a day now. Our community of traders is growing. We've seen crazy things like people making hundreds of thousands of dollars on weather this month alone. As you mentioned, Susquehanna, Jeff Yass at Susquehanna is now committed, the first dedicated institutional market maker to trading on these products.
They're on your board, right?
They're not on our board. They just committed to the asset class, first large institution to just set up a division that will trade prediction markets and events. What differentiates us as a company, there's a number of other kind of unregulated offshore companies, is that we went the legal route. We spent 3.5 years with the CFTC to get regulated up front. We got approved by a bipartisan 5-0 vote, which was incredible. And we've seen the kind of tremendous growth since then.
Yep. I've been following the company since Matt Levine wrote about you guys back in 2021. And the question is, how will regulators deal with it? You've gotten along with regulators really well.
Yeah.
But there are still issues like, in terms of an election, what's the dispute resolution mechanism? How do you decide who's a winner? For example, former President Donald Trump may claim that he won the 2020 election. How do you deal with someone who agrees with him on that?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question, Matt. I think, like any new financial technology comes with risks and comes with difficulties, right? And so you're always going to have to weigh the benefits and the costs. And so, what are the benefits? And then I'll respond to that question. So the benefits are two things. One, you let people risk manage against elections, which I used to work at Goldman. If you go to Goldman, you can do it, but this is not accessible to everybody. And so this is an open market where everybody can access. And two, you get accurate election forecast. I believe one of the most important products to be working on the next 10 years is bringing more truth into the system. And I think this one of those election markets can bring a little bit more truth to that process.
So we have very little time left, but really curious about what you think a different administration would treat these contracts like. Do you think that even if this current administration comes down hard on this product, do you think a Trump administration would treat it differently?
There was a headline on Marginal Revolution that was like, there's no good reason for such a ruling. So look, I'll let the politics alone. It's just not my job to weigh in. I think what I do know is that there's a lot of internal dissent within the commission. There's disagreement on what happened, and some are even calling this, blockage potentially illegal and against the First Amendment. But also we're seeing a Congress upheaval with a number of letters being sent by senators and representatives about this. Because you're setting a precedent of banning categories of legitimate economic activity, and this is the most important thing that people are talking about. You're potentially recreating the conditions for another FTX. You're pushing this activity from onshore regulated companies with customer protection to offshore illegal companies that can steal customer funds.